What's up, everybody? My name's Chance. Today we're going to be diving into the mono blue deck for standard 2021, and I gotta say this deck was actually really fun to play. Y'all know I'm not a blue player, I'm not very control-y, but this is more mono blue tempo, which is it's a style I can get on board with because it allows us to play things such as Stormwing Entity, Soulblade Djinn, and of course Brazen Borrower, because all these cards deal tons of damage while also bringing you other values such as, you know, scrying and being super cheap, or bouncing your opponent's non-land permanents, or increasing the power of all your flying creatures, right? Or, you know, creatures in general, and you just happen to have flying creatures. Anyways, it's a very, very, very lovely deck. And first off the bat, just ignore these cards over here. We'll get into that later. And secondly, if you enjoy the content, leave a like, subscribe, all that great stuff. And of course, be sure you're watching all the way through the video so you can get the pro tips and the daily question that we're now doing in each video. And the daily question is just something you answer down in the comments, and I ask you something magic related. Anyways, on into what the deck actually holds for us. We have 4 copies of Unsummon, which allows us to return target creature to its owner's hand. Now, the nice thing about this card, and the reason I chose to go for this instead of Stern Dismissal, is because it allows us to return our own creatures back to our hand, which can be very, very useful if we're talking about things like Brazen Borrower, Fae of Wishes, even the Threnody, I'm saying this wrong, even the Singer, right? It's great whenever it comes back to our hand and we can replay it and get that -X/-0 ability. So, awesome card. It also allows us to tempo out our opponent, right? Moving us along, we have 3 copies of Fae of Wishes. Because we're playing the Brazen Borrower and all that good stuff, I figured let's go more into the adventures. The adventures are always pretty good cards. So for 2 mana, you get a 1/4. Not bad. That's pretty good considering it has flying. Also, for 4 mana, you get to dive into your sideboard. So I have a sideboard constructed here for y'all, which has, you know, Shadow Spear and Soul God and Frogify. It has a whole bunch of things that you may or may not want. What I recommend actually is finding the things that you do want. You can probably cut out some of the fun things that I have in here just for myself, such as Nyx Lotus and Kior's Best to See God. That's just kind of stuff that I enjoy playing with. But of course the sideboard will be there whenever you load up the deck. Get out of here, sideboard. I don't need you right now. Anyway, so Fae of Wishes is really good. It can grab any non-creature spell from your sideboard and, you know, stock your hand with more powerful stuff. Glint is kind of like a modern day version of Dive Down, right? It's 2 mana, granted, and it still gives you the +3, you know, hexproof, all that stuff. So it's 1 extra mana from what Dive Down used to be, but you still get the same stats, and you still get the hexproof, and you still get an instant speed. So for 1 extra mana, you know, in standard 2021, I think it's really worth it, given most removal spells are a little bit more expensive, and if they're not, and they're only 2 mana, and you're spending 2 mana to block it, plus you're giving your creature a bit more defense, I think it's fun. Lofty Denial, we have a bunch of flyers, Fae of Wishes, Brazen, yada yada yada. So making your opponent have to pay 4 mana to play a spell is very, very unlikely that they'll have 4 leftover mana. You know, most people get greedy and all that, and make sure you're not getting greedy when you're trying to counter someone and not, you know, counting their mana, because y'all know me, sometimes I do that. Anyways, on down to the Singer. This is actually a really strong card because it allows you to tempo your opponent out. You're minusing one of their big swing ins that would be happening, allowing you to swing in with your, you know, Stormwing and your Soul Blades and your Brazens. And then come the next turn, you come up with something else. You know, maybe you just use the Singer and you chum block that big creature that you just shut offline the turn before. So now you bought 2 turns worth of time of swinging in with the rest of your creatures. And that's pretty much what this deck is all about, right? Delaying your opponent here and there, you know, shutting their stuff off or turning it to their hand while still getting in damage, you know, solid amounts of damage at that. Speaking of solid amounts of damage, we have 2 copies of Vantress Gargoyle. This is a 5/4 that can block if you have 4 or more cards in hand, and can attack if your opponent has 7 or more cards in their graveyard, and it can tap and each player mills a card. So it's pretty good all in all. I go back and forth on Vantress. If you're like me and you go back and forth, maybe just cut it and run extra copies of, you know, Fae of Wishes or Brazen Borrower or Singer or whatever. If you don't have those and you have the Gargoyle, run more copies of Gargoyle. Let me know how it works out for you, right? Also, the Gargoyle goes really well with the deck we'll talk about later. Thassa's Intervention. This card is super fantastic if you have it. It's an instant speed, allows you to counter opponent spells based off the amount of mana you put in, of course. But it also acts as a way for you to dive down into your deck and find whatever card you may need, right? Like Sublime Epiphany or Shark Typhoon in those games that are going longer and yada yada yada. So it works in two manners, and it's hard to beat a card's value when it has split utility, we'll say. Something like Brazen Borrower, Fae of Wishes, right? You'll see that the good cards are really decided upon their value and their ability to be used in multiple situations. So when you have a card that has split effects, generally it will be at least a little bit better than a card that has one simple effect, right? Speaking of one simple effect, Winged Words, 2 mana, draw 2 cards. Because we have so many flyers, it should be easy for this to cost less. It's really good value. 2 mana, draw 2. You don't see that often without a drawback. Brazen Borrower, we've talked about plenty. We have 3 copies of it. Reconnaissance Mission was something I was personally trying out. So it reads, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. We have a whole bunch of flyers. My figuring here, you get this down, you know, you have your Brazen and your Fae and all that kind of stuff swinging in and just drawing you tons and tons and tons of card, which gives you the ability to tempo out your opponent. And if you don't need it, it's cycling of 2, so it's really not that expensive. I actually really like it in the deck, personally. But of course, remove it, make the deck your own. Sleep is actually really good in a deck like this, where again you're trying to tempo out at your opponent. This gives you essentially 2 turns. So you play it, taps all your opponent's creatures, they don't untap the next turn, come back to your turn, you can swing in again, right? So it's like 2 free swing ins, and if that doesn't get you close enough to a victory, you can use your Brazen, you can use your Fae of Wishes, and you'll notice over here we have another copy of Sleep. So Teferi, Master of Time, allows you to phase out enemies. It's great, allows you to draw cards. Pretty much everything we've been trying to do. And it's non-creature, which is just nice for, well, I guess we don't have any non-creature spells, besides Shark Typhoon, of course. But I was thinking for some reason Stormwing was, but it's instant or sorcery, guys and girls. It's instant or sorcery. But it has prowess. It can get real big. It only costs 2 mana if you've cast an instant or sorcery, and considering we have things like Unsummon and Glint and Lofty Denial, all these things that cost real cheap. Not that you'd be using Lofty Denial too much on your turn, but it happens. Getting down Stormwing it's a breeze, I'm telling you. Shark Typhoon is a great way to keep your deck and your hand viable both early and late game. So Shark Typhoon can be cycled and gives you 1 single shark, right, of however much X mana you put into it. Or if you manage to get the enchantment down every time you cast a non-creature spell, and this is where Teferi and all that comes in, you're going to get an XX shark, where X is the spell's converted mana cost. So with Teferi, you get a 4/4, Brazen Borrowers, Petty Theft, you get a 2/2, right? Because it does work on adventure spells, for those of you wondering. Boon of the Wishgiver is, again, one of those cards that I was trying to try out. So it's 6 mana, draw 4 cards. That's pretty good value if you ask me personally, not to mention the fact that you can pay 1 with cycling and then just, you know, draw 1 card, which generally worth it. Pay 1, draw 1, right? Sublime Epiphany, 6 mana. I do like running 1 copy of this in my deck because the instances where it goes off hard, right? You get to counter the spell and make a copy and draw a card and all this, that, and the other. It's really good, actually. Or I shouldn't say really good. Don't throw 4 copies in your deck. You know, max 2. I personally just like the 1 as a nice little touch. Now on over here, these cards that I said we'd get back to later, this is a different route you can take the deck if you don't want to go so tempo-y with, you know, Brazen Borrower and Stormwing and Soulblade. Maybe you don't have any of those cards, or maybe you just don't like playing that style. Another route you can take is go for Teferi's Tutelage. This is actually a bomb way to mill your opponent, or mill your opponent. Anyways, enters the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills 2 cards. You have 4 copies of this in your deck. You have 1, we'll say 3 copies of Mirror Maid, right? 1 way to copy this enchantment outside of just playing extra copies. And now you have the ability to have 7 maximum down, right? You will never have 7, but so having 2 or 3 of these things down, every time you draw a card, your opponent's going to mill 4 to 6 cards. That's insane. Couple that with Teferi's Ageless Insight, which reads, if you would draw a card, except for the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead, and now you really have a bonkers ass deck on your hands. And of course you're playing control spells like counter magic and bounce and all that, so you're doing well at making sure that your enchantments stay on the battlefield. And then you bring in cycling hard. So you're paying 1 mana, you're drawing technically 3 cards in that turn, right? And then you're proccing 2 Teferi's Tutelages twice, so milling them 4 times. 4 times 3, 12 cards each turn, and that's off of a low kind of turn, right? Anyways, I think Teferi's Tutelage and mill is actually a very, very real possibility nowadays in Standard, and especially if you play, you know, controlling enough and slow enough, and you take your time analyzing your opponent's threats, because that's what it all comes down to with these mono blue decks. When you're playing control, when you're playing tempo, it's all about the efficiency, right? Making sure that you're taking down their biggest threats and not worrying about the smaller ones. We're not going to dive all the way through the sideboard, but it is, of course, down in the description. As always, I encourage you to look down there, check it out, all that great stuff. And of course, let me know how you're liking this sort of wrap up in the intro and all that good stuff, right? So, daily question, pro tips, like, comment, sub. Let me know how you're liking the videos, and as always, I'll see you in the matches. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop right in. Nago Maru, I think. We'll keep this. We went up through, let's see, Tennessee and Arkansas, and then over through Missouri, Kansas, up through Yellowstone, through the Grand Tetons, which I think that was Wisconsin, wasn't it? And then, what state did we go out? we went through a lot of states, sorry. Okay, so we have the Brazen if we want. I think we're just going to pass it back to their turn. And then on the way back, we went down through California and to Las Vegas and... down through Las Vegas, and we ended up meeting up with MTG Jeff, so that was fun. Alright. I gotta remember we're playing mono blue tempo. I'm trying to like do stuff, but in all actuality we can just sort of sit back and chill, right? We don't want them to have a Harbinger. That's such a pain in the ass to deal with. With Teferi, we can at least phase out the Fiend Artisan, right?
Let's make this quick.
An island. Do I want the island? I think I do. If I can get Shark Typhoon down, I'm pretty sure we can take control of this game. And we're pretty close right now, so. The Art of the Bold, by the way, thanks for the follow. Missed that in the few days that I was gone. So we can go ahead and pass to attackers. Yep. And then we phase it out. The Tetons are in Wyoming. Wyoming, that's what I was thinking of. Sorry, I don't know why I got Wisconsin and Wyoming confused. Ranger's Guile, that makes sense. That makes sense. So even if we had tried that, you know, in their main phase, they would have just used Ranger's Guile. That's okay, Teferi. You took one for the team. Another Garrick's Harbinger. Well, that's super unfortunate. We're up to 5 mana, which means we're 1 away from the Shark Typhoon. We can get down this. I almost want to do it now so we get the Winged Words for cheaper as well, right? I say we do it. I'm really trying to save Fae of Wishes, if you couldn't tell. Lofty Denial and another Brazen Borrower. That's actually really good, so not too upset about that. Unfortunately, Brazen Borrower can't block anything on the ground, so we're about to go down to 11 health. Yeah, so we might not have even touched Wisconsin. We have another trip planned for next year. We're gonna go up into the eastern seaboard, basically. I've been up through you know, Massachusetts and New York, and that was back whenever I was 17 though. So it's been, oh, that's rough. That's rough for us. Why didn't you swing it with both? Brazen can't block. Whatever. Whatever, we'll take it. So how do we, are we just gonna bounce the Harbinger on our next turn? That sounds solid. And they got an ooze. Alright. Still looking for a land. That's super unfortunate that we're hung up on this. So yeah, we can Borrower, plus we can Lofty Denial on their turn, so that sounds good. Probably just get in some damage on Garrett. We could also cycle Shark Typhoon and make, what, a 3-3? 3-3 would deal with the Harbinger, but I think bouncing it is fine as well, right? We're playing tempo, so making them respin mana, nothing wrong with that. We can't counter that as much as I want to, we can't, so we'll let them play it. And hopefully they'll spend the 2 mana to put it on the Harbinger, right? No, they're gonna put it on the Fiend Artisan. It's not a bad idea. We'll see. There you go. Pretty smart. Now we could, again, cycle the Shark Typhoon. I think I'd rather bounce the Harbinger though. If we can. If not, it might be in trouble. Nah, we got him. Still gonna take some damage here, and the Harbinger still will come back, but we live to see another turn. It's unfortunate that we hit 6 mana here, but we have Sublime Epiphany, so we can counter and bounce, right? Oh, that's pretty good. Alright, and we're killing this. Boop. They're running out of cards, so I'm not too worried. Not too worried, right? They don't quite have enough to make use of that. I think we do go ahead and Sublime. Alright, so turn target, counterspell, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, and target player draws a card. Target a non-land permanent, Fiend Artisan. Target a creature, target a player. Cool beans. Look at all the different colors. I like that. We got a purple, we got a blue, we got a light blue, we got a yellow or orange. I like it. Nice. Alright. Now I really want to get down Shark Typhoon and start using it, but at the same time, Gilded Goose. Oh. Ooh, I can get it down. I can get it down. That's my opportunity. Hell yeah. Play it. Do it to it. Alright, and we know all the cards they have in hand. Even if they get a Garrick, they can't plus Goose up enough. I think we're fine to swing it with both. We gotta start dealing damage, right? Down to 17. And now when we cast our non-creature spells, we get sharks. Alright, so Winged Words and maybe Fae of Wishes. Maybe Fae of Wishes, see what we have. Then we'll see about Winged Words, right? How many cards do we have over here in our graveyard? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 instant and sorceries. Because I think we have Magic Mirror in the sideboard, so just wondering. Fiend Artisan playing with its little voodoo doll. Alright, so they're going to get down the Harbinger and the Fiend Artisan. Right. Oh, no, we got rid of the Harbinger, right. Ooze, sorry. Now they can actually build Ooze up if they want to. exiling spells. I mean, that's sure. I'd rather you do that than build your ooze up, trust me. Spend it all. Get rid of all my cards in my graveyard. I have 0 interaction with it past the magic mirror, right? So seems good. Take it all. Alright. Vantress Gargoyle, that's pretty good. Can't block unless you have 4 or more cards in hand, though, so that's a little restrictive. Can't attack 7? They don't. Are we going for the Fae of Wishes? I think so, actually. It gives us a good 4/4 shark. That's, yeah, that's sizable. Now, we are at 7 mana, so Kiora, Best of Sea God is pretty good. Sea God Scorn would be pretty good. We could just bounce everything they have. Sleep, we could just make them go to sleep for a little while. Or Yugen, which we're not quite there yet, so... We do need some more health. Mastermind, or Amazemint's Tomb, or Shadow Spear wouldn't be bad. Let's go for the Shadow Spear, maybe? Or if I take something like Didn't Say Please, then we have counter magic for if they go to play anything, right? Yeah, let's just take a Didn't Say Please. We'll be real simple about it. So, we have a 4/4 blocker for the ooze. These two can go ahead and swing in, I think. Well, yeah. Yeah. Because if nothing else, I can always play down another creature like a Singer. Yeah, that's good. Alright. Perfect. Mono blue tempo. This match is going a hell of a lot better than the first one, right? That first one was... Woo. But we're controlling them. We're doing what we need to do. They're going to sacrifice the ooze. We'll resolve. We're perfectly fine. We're perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine with that. Ooh. Nice. It's a great way to get around counter magic, right? Just pop it out with the Fiend Artisan. I like it. And right back to exile in the graveyard, you dirty dog. Alright, pass to attackers. We have 10 damage on our side of the board right now, right? Which means when I play this, we have lethal. Well, they do have the Reach Gargaroth. This will at least make it to where Gargaroth doesn't deal any damage to us, but I can't do anything past that. We gotta figure something out. I mean, I could use this on come their next turn, right, to make sure Gargaroth doesn't do any damage, and then I can block it with my sharks. That sounds fun, and I can still get in 9 damage here. Yeah, so we're playing this. Stormwing Entity. So we need to keep at least 2 mana for the Singer, right? So let's go Winged Words. Glint's pretty good. And we got another Shark Typhoon as well. Let's throw down the Stormwing Entity, and then we'll still have enough mana for our counter spell. I don't want that. Reconnaissance Mission's good. Yeah, it allows us to draw a ton, so why not, right? Alright, so next to combat. I can sack a Brazen and still deal 6. If I do this, I can deal with Gargaroth, but I can't deal with the other one, so I want to keep this shark back. I think we sack a Brazen to the Gargaroth. It's unfortunate, but it's what needs to happen. Let's see if they gain life here. If they gain life, it's whatever. We're still going to deal 3. If they create a 3/3, that's what I'm worried about. They're drawing a card. I'm fine with that, actually. Of all the options, that's the one I want. So they're down to 5. We still have plays. We still have the plays. If they play anything too spicy, we might just have to Didn't Say Please it, right? But Gargaroth isn't going to deal any damage, so we're at least happy in that, right? Yep, that's fine. We have to hope and pray, though, that they don't have any sort of heroic intervention bullshit. I did sort of burn myself all the way down. I guess I should have left 5 mana, right? It's not a bad idea for them. So now do I just kill the Gargaroth, or no? They're just swinging in with the Fiend Artisan. All right. I think I still Singer here, and just kill the Fiend Artisan. This keeps them from gaining any life, and I think I can overpower them in the skies. Alright, no life gain. They can go up to 9 off the Gargaroth, but look at the damage I have, right? Ah, right, but they can heal up again. So they go up to 13, and they block a 4-4, and I'm dealing 9, 12, 13. Oh, that's so terrible. So terrible. Oh, wait, yeah, they go up to 13. I'm dealing 13, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. So it works out perfectly. They can't gain anything with Ooze. Alright, let's do it to it. Oh, but they can gain 3 life. Right. Alright, I don't want to cycle that. Probably should have just played it, honestly. That's fun. Alright. So they're at 3. We need blockers. We need something, right? Could always cycle Shark Typhoon for a 5/5. This guy can block, so that's good. You can also attack, but mainly concerned with the block. And if I cycle Shark Typhoon and get down to 3/3, or even just use Glint and cycle Shark Typhoon and get down to 1/1, right? All right, that all seems good. Forgot about Gargaroth gaining 3 life. You know, it's annoying, but it's working out for him. I still think we got the game, though. We got the game. All right. Gaining more life or what? Gaining more life. So let's do... This way we won't actually take any damage. But they are going back up to 13. Good golly, this Elder Gargaroth. We need a way to bounce it, right? Let's just fuck it. We gotta bounce it. Shit. Oh, and then it's Ooze too. Ooze isn't nearly so bad. So we got a Soulblade Djinn. That could work out for us, though we only have 7 mana. Oh, Sleep. Does that work for us? 3, 6, 9. Yeah. And we have didn't say please in case they try anything cheeky. Giving it hexproof doesn't do anything. You silly little goose. That's a GG. Mono blue tempo. Out tempoing the Gargaroth. The big 8/8 Gargaroth. And ranking us up too. Beautiful. Beautiful. Almirain. Look. Sherrington. That's what we're gonna call you. Just Sherrington. Just in case they're playing one of those aggro is it decks. Nope. Alright, cool beans. I wonder if they're also playing mono blue. Boy, wouldn't that be a hoot. It's like a very, very expensive, what's it called? Curious Obsession, right? Oh, shit. You never like to see the Nyx Lotus there. Never, never. We have a Nyx Lotus of our own, don't we? Yeah, we do. Give me the Mythos. Alright, they have 8 mana. The reason I got the Mythos is whatever they might play, they have more mana than me to play with, right? So I figure we might want to copy whatever they get out. Maybe it's a Cure Best of Sea God or some shit. They're thinking mighty hard. And y'all know mono blue is not my strongest suit, but we gotta give it our best. Thassa's Oracle. Alright, they still have the 8 mana. See what they choose to bounce here. Just our Singer. This is gonna be a fucking noodle fight. This is a noodle fight if I've ever seen noodles. That's why we still have the mana for Brazen. No thanks on those two. Alright. Oh, they just play a Brazen. They didn't even cast it. They're just throwing it down. Throwing it downtown. Have fun recasting that Nyx Lotus, bitch. They're like, shit! Good afternoon to you as well, or whatever. Yeah. It's like 7 o'clock at night here, so I don't know if you consider that nighttime or afternoon or what. It's some kind of time. It's getting pretty late, is what it is. Corridor monitor, nice. Now they get down Thassa? Probably Thassa. Oh! Good old Gadwick. There's my lofty denial. Day late, dollar short kind of thing, huh? I don't love it, but I do want to create a copy of Gadwick so I can start tapping their shit. There's that extra land I was looking for. Alright, let's see if we can't get in for some damage, huh? Beautiful. Alright. Now, we can't just go casting Lofty Denial all willy-nilly because they have the 16 mana. We might call it after this match, actually. I still gotta do tomorrow's video, thumbnail, so much shit. 1 top, 11 bottom. You'll have to see those kind of scrying numbers. Whew. It is hot, 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 hot. Let's see if they try to cast it out for the max. They're thinking. I can't tell if they're counting. 5, that leaves 2. Welcome to Lofty Denial. It's not Quench season anymore, it's Lofty Denial. You gotta remember that. Oh, there you go. Now you got the mana to counter spell for days. Alright, we have 7 mana. 5 mana if I want to keep Lofty Denial up, which of course I do. Let's see if our Fae of Wishes can go off. It does. What a surprise. Alright. Land? Oh, beautiful. Well, that's all we need for that Yugen come next turn. Of course, we'll have to make sure that they don't have anything that can counter us or kill us within that time. But yeah, if we can Yugen and exile their whole side of the board. Beautiful! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 13, 14. They actually have enough to finish us. But we can get down the Singer, right, and we'll be alright. We can minus damage from Thassa. And then take out the Borrower. That minuses 8 damage? Not quite. No, it's minus 9. Minus 9 damage. Alright. That's his Oracle, but they still have 40 cards in their deck, so it's not like, you know. I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. Maybe they don't have counter magic and they're like, fuck, if I can't get to counter magic, they will cast Yugen. How would they anyways, though? If a permanent was put into your hand from the battlefield this turn, draw a card. Maybe like that. Maybe off the Baron. Did they scroll one to the top? Fuck, I didn't see. Ah, no. Alright. Of course, if they didn't even swing in. Oh, man. This is super stressful. I'm fairly sure they have Counterspell. Wouldn't it be better to bounce the Baron so you could rebound something to your hand, like the Borrower? Right? Could be mistaken there, but... maybe not, actually. Maybe if they didn't find counter magic on that last one. Alright, let's see. I guess you have to keep one on top, right? So... yeah, one on top, 9 on bottom. They had to have hit some counter magic in there. No way you go through 20 cards and don't find any counter magic, right? Well, fuck it. Counter me. What? I can't go next to combat because if I do that, oh, I should have swung in first. Tapping my creatures doesn't do anything. Oh, they were just tapping the Stormwing, right? I mean, I guess that does something. Alright, so we can deal 3 with Yugen, which means we need to deal 7 with Stormwing. We can deal 5, I know for sure. Damn, so we'd still be 2 away. Good old Gadwick. Mono blue versus mono blue. Longest matches ever. Alright, what do you got for me? I'm worried that they're gonna get low enough eventually to just... Did I miss something? Or is there a point behind them throwing down the other Nyx Lotus? So what we can do is we can Mythos of Illuna, copy their Gadwick, and then start tapping all their stuff. See how they like the tappy tappy. Or I can copy their Nyx Lotus, give myself more mana for future. I think I'd rather have the Gadwick. Alright, we got lethal on him come next turn for sure. Right? For sure this time. No getting around it, Sheraton. We're getting you. Fae of Wishes is still one of the best cards in the format. Being able to reach in and look at like 15 other cards, you're like, yes, this could deal with the current deck I'm up against. So good. So freaking fracking good. We can't even attack with Vantress Gargoyle still. Yikes. We also never saw the Soulblade Djinn. It's really the one I was kind of interested in, but... Oh, why didn't I Lofty Denial that? Fuck me. Now they actually have a chance of coming back. Fuck. Ew, that's so bad. So bad. Oh, no, wait. We can still have lethal here, right? Nice. 20 minutes. It took us 20 minutes to win one match.